Hey there, today we're going to do a cage tour of the Cockatiel's cage and Bolin's as well down there. This was requested by Mrs. Teal Fish, I believe, on a previous video, and I thought it was a neat idea to kind of walk through the cages and go into what's in there and a bit of my thought process when setting it up. Bolin's going to be co-narrating today because he has lots of strong feelings about the cages. So let's get started. First off, just an overall note, we got this cage around the same time we got Bolin, almost 2 years ago now. It's a neat duplex one, and we got it since having the Cockatiels and then Bolin is a different species. We wanted to make sure they were in separate cages, so this was a nice kind of compact way to achieve that. One neat thing about this cage, it's the first time I've ever had platforms that you can see, and I wasn't sure how the Cockatiels would react, but they ended up really loving it, so I'll go ahead and go through each sort of layer in the cage and talk about what's in there. So first up, we have the top layer in the Cockatiel cage. You can see Frankie spends a lot of time here, though not when I'm shoving a camera in her face. There's a cuddle bone in the corner, and Bolin taking a look at what I'm doing. Sorry, baby, it can't focus when you're so close. I'm gonna get distracted by you this whole time, huh? Is this your cage? Don't be so territorial, huh? Okay, you can do that. We'll go back up to the top. So this top platform, Frankie likes to spend a lot of time on. You got the cuddle bone and a couple of toys. This plastic ball one is actually one of Gunter's favorite, and I'm pretty sure we've had that since we adopted him, so it's pretty old, but he likes to attack it. Underneath this platform, you have a wooden perch with a couple of chewable toys. There's wood that they like to shred. This wood here is actually really soft, and you can see they've gotten into it. I like to have most of the destructible stuff in the Cockatiel cage. One, because they are a little bit slower to destroy it, and two, Frankie has a tendency to over-preen, so it keeps her busy. What are you two doing back here? So Frankie is now on the rope perch. This used to be in Bolin's cage, and I gave him all the ropes, but I thought, let's give the Cockatiels a chance to try it out, and Frankie really likes it. There's a toy in the back that is fairly new from a Polywana bird box. Oh, guess I'm not allowed to touch it. They don't seem to be that into it yet, but sometimes a toy will sit in a cage forever, and then one day they'll discover it and destroy it in seconds, so we'll see how that goes. Over here we have an area Gunter tends to hang out more in. It's the lower platform. We have a lot more soft kind of rope toys here that he likes to play with or just kind of cuddle next to and take a nap, as he's trying to do. You can see there's a rope toy in the back. A while back that fell over, and Frankie decided that was her new platform and maybe nest, so we try to be vigilant to make sure she doesn't use it that way, because we don't want her laying any eggs. No eggs, right? Peekaboo? And now you're quiet. Up next we have a perch that's directly below the lower platform. This is a really beautiful piece of wood that's nice and long and gives some nice varied foot rest areas, but it seems like no matter where I put it, it gets pooped on. For a while I had it here, and we were out of town for a couple days, and when we came back it was just entirely covered in shit. So I tried moving it here. We'll see how it goes. There's a couple of toys here as well. These are from bird boxes too. They're awesome toys, but the Cockatiels don't seem that into them. And I don't think Bolin has gone for them yet either. So again, we'll kind of wait and see what they do with that. Below this perch, we have a petty perch. So this is one that's, it feels sandpaper-ish. It's not harsh on my skin or anything. This helps keep the Cockatiel's nails trim. You have to be careful with these because sometimes it can cause burns or irritation on birds' feet. I've never seen any problem with this particular one, but always something to be aware of. Usually, the food dish is hung up here, but Bolin, who is more interested in the camera at this moment, has a tendency to knock these over, so whenever he's out, I put the dishes down so he doesn't make a mess. Are you gonna go knock it over now, or are you gonna have a treat? Yep, so he does that with the food. What's great too, he'll knock that over. Do you want to show him what you do on the inside? No. He'll knock that over and then come in the cage and stand on it and eat it at this angle, because apparently that makes the pellets taste better. Great. It's fine when he does that with the food, because even though it's a bit of a waste, at least it's not a huge mess. But he also likes to do that with the water, and that gets the paper soaking wet, and he just sits there and laughs when he does it, which is very irritating. Are you gonna go eat out of it now? Well, thinking about it. Why you do this? Why? They're not happy about it. Alright, and then finally on the right side of the cage here, we have where their water usually sits, but again, this guy would knock it over. There's just a basic dowel that we have one toy stuck around and then some other stuff on the side. They don't pay too much attention to this stuff, and actually Bolin seems to really like this, so I might move it to his cage, but I just like having a variety of toys everywhere so that they have their options. Yeah, that's basically it. Sometimes we put toys that end up on the bottom, like little balls and stuff, so I just try to keep those poop free and stick them back up when I can, but oftentimes it just gets knocked back over. Alright, so upon looking at Bolin's cage, you'll notice there's a lot more rope going on, and one of his favorite things, which is bells. Another thing you might notice is that his water and food setup is a little different. That doesn't mean he's getting different water or food, it's just a preventative measure against what he does up here. So for water, we tried using the little bottles that you might use for a rodent cage. The Cockatiels and Bolin never really got that, and you don't always see them drinking water, but I just didn't feel that comfortable using it. So instead we have this little trough set up. It's just something that you need to remember to clean because you can't just let it sit for a long time. For food, we have the same food dish, but I just let it sit on the ground. He's pretty good about not pooping in it, so we haven't had any problems. And sometimes he still knocks it over down there, but it's apparently not as fun as knocking it off the cage walls. So this is Bolin's rope corner. This is where he likes to nap and also sleep. Ever since he was little, he liked to cuddle up to rope, so we facilitate that with a bunch of different rope toys. This one here you can barely see. We've had this, it was from like a make-your-own toy kit. We've had it for a really long time, and it's just his favorite thing, so we leave that up here. Moving down a little bit, there's a couple of neat toys. We have a big rope orb. He's only recently figured out how fun this is, and he likes to stand at the top and try to get at this bell, which is another one of his favorite things. We've got some other perches here for him to mess around on. This perch actually came from Gunter's original cage when we adopted him, and it's neat because there's a thing at the end where you can attach different toys. Right now we have this half coconut shell, which I wasn't sure if Bolin would understand and really go for it, but if you fill it full of sunflower seeds, suddenly it's the best. Do you have anything to add? Okay, good. Other perches down here. This perch is super cool. We actually got it from the Burbler Secret Santa event this winter. I haven't seen Bolin doing too much with it yet, but there's all kinds of cool stuff to chew on here, so I'm sure that he'll be making a lot of use out of it. What else is in here? What's that? So what Bolin was just on are his dual rope spirals. It's probably excessive to have two in here, but he likes to play with them. Especially at the bottom they've got bells, so he will go crazy just like attacking those and shaking them all over the place. Especially in the morning, huh? That's your morning ritual. Oh, good kiss. In the center, we have a nice chewable toy. This was in the Cockatiel's cage for a long time, and it looked like they chewed on it, but kind of lost interest, so I put it in here hoping Bolin would have some more fun with it, but no luck yet. His other platform is his bell platform. Bells are his favorite thing to attack, so we have not one, not two, but 3 bell toys, as well as a cuddle bone. So when he is in the mood to fight something, he just comes over here and goes completely nuts attacking these, while of course yelling good boy and pretty bird. There's also this really cute teacup toy. He's actually been cuddling with this, which makes me think I should put a rope over here, but it's pretty funny to see him like lean up against it. Finally, going a bit lower, where the water dish is, we have another one of these petty perches. Again, doesn't seem to harm his feet at all. He doesn't really use it that much, actually. I've stuck a toy here that the Cockatiels destroyed for a while, and they bit off what attached it to the ceiling of the cage, so I thought sticking it on this perch would be cool and letting Bolin have a shot going for it. Here's another toy that is actually missing a lot of what was on it. There were popsicle sticks sticking out of it, and Bolin has ripped those off, so we'll see what more use he gets from it. And then another cardboard-based toy that he hasn't been going for so much, but again, their tastes change, and maybe it'll become really interesting one day. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed our cage tour video. Until next time, bye! Good boy.